What day is it? It's Wednesday, Lisa. You know,
Happy
how are you?
Wednesday.
How are you? So just so you know, we're doing these promo reels. So I got to say a little something about the day that it is, right? So anyway, we're live. We're live. It's Wednesday. It's August is winding down. Lisa, summer's almost over.
No.
It's almost over.
No.
Unreal. It's unreal. We've had amazing guests this season. And before we get this live started, I do want to make note we have an unbelievably amazing sponsor for the episode, and that is Visalogics. So you'll see scrolling across the bottom of the screen here throughout the entire episode. You'll see that. And you can go over to visalogics.com and check it out. They're helping industries with innovative technologies. They do have something called Tether It, so you may want to go check that out. And yeah, so a big shout out to Jay and everyone over at Visalogics for sponsoring the episode. It's going to be a good one. We have an amazing guest today, Lisa. We had the opportunity to run into this person on the show floor at NRA in Chicago this past May. And now we have the opportunity to have her here on our show. So without further ado, we're going to bring in Caitlin Rogers, the marketing director at Winsight. Caitlin, welcome to Fired Up Live.
Oh, Rich, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so excited to be here with you and your crew.
Awesome. We're very happy to have you. So before we do anything today, for the people out there, we want to let them know, get them acquainted with you. So let everybody know who you are, what you do, and all that good stuff.
Sure. So I'm Caitlin Rogers. I've been in the food service industry. I'm going to date myself, Rich, since 1998. I'm a Gen X person. So yes, well, those are the best. That's the best generation outside of boomers. But I've been in this industry for a very long time. Was a equipment manufacturer. So know exactly. I love all the brands that you support. I was part of those brands and still have a very big passion for those well-built brands. But now I'm part of the National Restaurant Association show. So I'm the director of marketing. We are gearing up as the summer ends. We're gearing up to launch for 2024 next month. So I'm really excited to talk about, just what we're doing, what we've done in the past, what we did at the show, and what we're going to do for next year. So I'm just happy to be here.
Awesome. I love it. Yeah, then that's got to be a process. I mean, we put on, FedCon a couple of times, and that alone was tough, and we weren't expecting thousands. So I can only imagine the process of getting that all together.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I do want to shout out to you. So I remember when you started doing all this, when you started being Rich Malachi on LinkedIn. And I think it was 2018, 2019, somewhere around there. Yep. And I saw you at the show in 2019, and I walked up to you and I said, just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a great job. So, just come forward 4 years later and to be a part of what you're doing is just amazing. So thank you so much. And again, you're doing a fantastic job.
I appreciate it. Yes, I remember that. And I do appreciate it. It's been a journey. I'll tell you, that's, one of the things I promote is consistency and just keeping the good fight going every day. You have to, it's like anything, you got to work at it. So it let us here, and we get to be here today. So I'm going to kick some things off. We'll talk a little bit about some conversations. We'll keep it fun. Lisa will be here. She'll be monitoring and producing this thing as we go along. Then any comments and questions that are coming in, she'll tell us, just like, Rich, shut up. We have to bring something in. So out of the gate, with the food equipment industry evolving really rapidly, actually, what are your top insights into how AI and robotics are shaping the future of restaurants and the dining experience?
Well, yeah, it's you saw it on the show floor this year. You saw more than we've probably ever seen before. I think before COVID, I'll just say before COVID, that seemed like way off in the future. It was really going to be way off. But post COVID, it's now. We had a lot of kitchen innovation awardees that had AI, that had robotics, that were just not back of the house. They were front of the house. They were, Robo Joe was a huge hit back in the KI area. And that's all self-contained and all, robotics serving coffee. And, those are great type of, plug-in units that you could do at colleges, universities, hospitals, a lot of different areas, but they need support too from service. I always say that there's got to be a service element in here somewhere. But for AI, I mean, I remember Prezi Taste. Did you go and see Prezi Taste over at the KI area? Well, I remember them when they were with Well Built booth back in 2018 when we were doing the McDonald's Worldwide Convention. So we had them in our booth. We were trying to show that whole entire system. Fast forward 5 years, and they've won a KI. They're really their own self-sustained company. So all those little steps they took to get where they are now are huge moments for them. So, and what they were doing with their AI in the back of the house, monitoring the food prep, monitoring, the food taken away so they can replenish it is just a huge step forward, especially when labor is such a challenge nowadays. And, back probably before, like I said, before COVID, I would say that a lot of operators would probably shy away from those types of things because they have good labor and they didn't need a lot of the fancy stuff because they had, the labor force to do it. Not anymore. The labor force is very, very much changed. So now the equipment companies need to come in and step in and fill those holes, take out steps, do things for them that they can still be profitable and still delight customers. So I think robotics was another one, which is not really, you saw the fry arms, I love all the fry arms, Tasso had a fry arm and Middleby's had a fry arm, and, those are really, really great. But like Bear Robotics that was over in the North Hall over in the tech area, they have those delivery systems now that will bring the food to your table. And they can go over, all-terrain vehicles, without spilling their drinks. And those are huge improvements. They delight customers, but they also save labor for those operators so they can, get those machines to deliver the food and take the food away. So I think there's just a lot of progress in robotics. And then the other thing I saw too, which I think we'll probably see more forward this year, is more self-serve stuff. You saw the Robo Joe, but you also had Structural Concepts that had a refrigerator that plug in a number, get your food out. There's just more and more things that they're trying to take, those steps out, those busy steps out that would help people get their food quicker and go and keep it safe. I've been to some locations that I'm like, okay, this happened to me. I went to Portillo's, ordered online, went to Portillo's, got there, and they're like, "You're Caitlin?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they said, "Oh, the Uber driver just took your food." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So wait another 20 minutes for your food. And they were very, very pleasant and so apologetic, but you're just like, wait a minute, hold on. Because it wasn't, it was just on a rack, and they didn't, whatever. We got over it.
Yeah.
So, so I think those are the things that I take away from this year's show. And we're going to see more of that into next year's show.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I don't want to rush our way through the year and into another year already, but I'm looking forward to it. And and people are really looking for convenience. I mean, it's just about moving. We're all moving faster than ever. And I think robotics, AI, and all those things, just that's the future. And I see so many different, theories on things. And I see some people up in arms and angry about it. They're taking all of our jobs. They're doing all this stuff. It's just, I think it's quite the opposite. I think there's evolution, and we always find our way into new places to be. So maybe they should start looking at the robotics companies to work, right? I mean, they're going to need different engineers and
absolutely,
So
yeah, absolutely. A lot of equipment manufacturers don't have that in-house talent, so they do have to look outside. They do have to look out into other areas to get that talent to help them with those changes. But then it will become part of their DNA. They just have to decide to make those changes and put it in there. Who would have thought, what was it, 7 years ago, that you would see so many touch screens on all of our equipment too? I mean, everybody thought, oh, forget it, that's not going to happen. Well, now it's commonplace. Now it's fully accepted. So all these things just take time to matriculate into the norm, and we'll see that happen as we go. And then we'll look for the next thing.
That's right. There's always something coming. There's always something coming. And talking about all this stuff, and not just here but internationally. International companies are making their mark in the U.S. restaurant market. In your view, what factors are driving this trend, and how does the show support businesses as they expand across the borders?
Oh yes. So I think, and I don't keep going back to COVID, but COVID has kind of been a reset for a lot of people. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So if we look at what post-COVID, I'll pick one. because I was amazed that I saw it in Bloomingdale, Illinois. Jollibee's. Jollibee's is a Philippines-based company. Always seen it in China, but they're coming to the United States. They have 70 locations already.
And I'll tell you what, I just for the first time over the weekend tried Jollibee.
What?
Was it good?
I did, and I ordered a couple of different things. It was delivery, and it actually came pretty hot and good. The spicy chicken was spicy. I was kind of blown away because usually it's not. So I thought the chicken was good. I thought the mashed potatoes. I don't want to badmouth Jollibee, but they seemed a little gummy. We tried some of the burgers, and the burgers were actually decent.
Good. That's good. Well, they're very popular over in Asia, because they do have different spice palettes and everything, which I'm always blown away by. But they're coming into the United States more because they see this as a viable market for them. They can come in here. They can, bring that food that might be a little bit of different texture or taste, but do very, very well because we do have a melting pot of people here that do want that food. But equally, they see it as a benefit because the infrastructure is here for them. They're not going out and building roads and putting in infrastructure. I mean, for these locations, they'll call the service company. They know they can get this stuff hooked up. They know they can get it installed. They know they can get service. So to them, that is a huge plus. McDonald's for years, I'll just go back to, decades. McDonald's, wherever McDonald's went, companies follow them. So like Frymaster would follow them whatever country they went into. They went into 190 different countries. If you think it's easy to try to go into 190 different countries, it's not. So, but for them to come into our country is easier.
Yeah, 190 miles is hard.
Yeah, exactly. So I see that happening in Latin America. Restaurants are coming up here. They see it as a viable. Again, it's a melting pot of different foods and different tastes. You look at Tim Hortons. I don't know. Some people think it's Canadian. I think it's part of the U.S. But Tim Hortons is coming in here. There's more coming from Canada as well. So I think all that is welcomed and gives everybody an opportunity. There's also better real estate now post-COVID. There's more locations that they can get involved with. So it's very, very right. But equally, we also see them coming from Europe. The stuff happening in the Ukraine has kind of made that kind of sketchy at best. So people are coming over here and looking at other opportunities in all of the Americas to see what they can do to grow their businesses. So a lot of it has to do with, what's going on in the world. But I also think that we have a solid infrastructure to help them out. So,
100%. We'll keep this flowing. I'm loving it. Could you share with us?
Well, yes. I missed your part of your question. What is the show doing? We had 4,600 international attendees come to the show. We had over 400 different international exhibitors at the show this year. Wow. So we grew about 15%, and that really wasn't from Asia at all. It was from Latin America, Africa, Europe. We are seeing more growth coming from them, coming to the United States, coming to Chicago, coming to the show, because this is really kind of the epicenter in the Western Hemisphere for food service. If you're looking for something or want to connect with people and be able to grow even in your part of the world, this show is a great jumping off point for that.
Yeah, no, I agree. And even Italy saw my brother-in-law they just posted, Pizza Group USA. You can go to pizzagroupusa.com and see they're coming from Italy and they just coming on strong. They were at NRA this year pumping out pizzas and they have this big dragon conveyor oven and this is like high productivity. So, something that's really high quality. You see pumping out 300 pizzas an hour.
That's amazing.
So yeah, and it's top quality. And so yeah, I think more other Italian companies, a lot of Italian
companies coming in. Yes.
Yes.
I'll give a little nod to Ali Group on that because they're Italian based and there's great manufacturers in Italy. So I think that's great that they're branching out beyond just, the borders of Europe.
They are. So the annual show was a highlight for many, which I've been going. I think I've been to I have not missed an NRA show, I think, since maybe 2009.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and yeah, I mean, back then they were, and even earlier than that, they were connected to the Cefesa conference. So we would go to the Cefesa conference and then we'd roll into NRA. So yeah, it's definitely, definitely a highlight, I think, for a lot of us. And can you tell us what's going into creating a successful conference that draws industry professionals from all around?
Oh, yes. So we started planning like in June again for this year. So it doesn't stop. It's a year-round event. When you have over 55,000 people coming into Chicago, you've got to plan well and plan wisely. So we're right now doing calls for proposals. And that is really unique to the show, that we do seek proposals from operators to help us educate other operators at the show. So we are doing a college proposal. We've got 6 different topics right now that we're looking to fill for education, but we're also looking to fill, we're going to have a discovery theater. We're going to have an innovation theater. We have a culinary experience where we have celebrated chefs that will get on the stage and demonstrate. We also have a beverage room. So there's a lot of things that, you know, are there to help educate people, help get them excited about different opportunities. I'm always shocked at how well the cannabis session does in the beverage room on a Tuesday. On a Tuesday, it's full, it's packed. So there's a lot of people that are very interested in new things, because, you know, you might not be able to do it today, but you could eventually do it, you know, in the future. So I think that's a great thing. But I think the other thing that's great about next year for us, and I'll say this from an equipment standpoint, because, you know, it's always been a challenge as an exhibitor, is that there's no NAFM show next year. So this really becomes the show for everyone next year. You know, when it's a NAFM year, you know, our attendance sometimes, you know, gets adjusted, or the booth sizes get adjusted a little bit, but we still have a lot of attendance. But this year, because NAFM isn't occurring, we're expecting more and more of service agents and dealers and distributors and consultants to come to Chicago. So we're really excited about that too.
Yeah, no, the off NAFM year, I get that. It's definitely going to be, everyone's going to be at this one. And forgive me, I you know, when I go to NRA too, I think I just tend to walk the floor. I don't really pay attention to a lot of these other things that you were mentioning, like the beverage room.
Mm-hmm.
What goes on? What goes on in these things? And maybe for someone watching, like even like for myself, my own knowledge, where do we find? Is that, because that's not part of the ticket? Is this extra stuff?
Oh, it's part of the ticket. No, it's all on the show. It's all on show floor.
Okay.
So everything that you see on the show floor is with your badge ticket. We are working on a program that will be off the show floor. That is an extra ticket price. You know, that same thing. Like if you buy industry night out ticket, that's offsite, or a young professional ticket. You know, those are offsite. So those are ticketed extras. But everything that you see on the show floor is open to you. Just, you know, for exhibitors too. I encourage exhibitors, if you can take a break from being in your booth and go listen to a chef, or listen to what they're talking about, plant-based foods, or what's going on with plant-based beverages. All this affects equipment. All of it affects what we're doing, what the manufacturers are doing, and what service agents are doing, because all of it is all can tie to each other. Can't have one without the other. So it's on it. But there's a lot in Lakeside. You know, I think Lakeside gets a bum rap because everybody's like, oh, I don't want to walk that far. But let me tell you, there's more going on over in Lakeside than you would expect. The culinary experience is over there. The beverage room is over there. We've got Bella Vita from Italian cooking is over there. We've got Iberica, which is a new Spanish pavilion that we launched. We've got a lot of global food manufacturers over there, as well as, you know, a lot of new people, a lot of new manufacturers are over there. A lot of new people that want to break into the food service industry or in that. So I find it to be a very engaging hall, just because you don't know what you're going to see. You don't know what you're going to expect. South and North are still super, you know, busy and great. They're full. You'll probably find more equipment manufacturers in the South halls and the North halls, just because of legacy. They're legacy exhibitors. They've been here forever, and they like that hall, and they're going to stay in that hall. And God love you, I was the same way when I was with Webba. So, and the KI pavilion's back in the South Hall, and then the Tech Pavilion is over in the North Hall. So there's a lot to see and do. I believe in planning. You know, this isn't a show that you can just stumble upon and kind of go, oh, okay, I'm going to, you know, figure out what I'm going to do. You really got to plan. And I think we have a mobile app for that you can download before you get to the show, so you can start planning some of your customers or, you know, exhibitors that you want to go see beforehand. So I think there's a lot of things we try to give everybody to do that. And my big recommendation is always to wear comfortable shoes. So you don't know how long you're going to walk.
Yes, listen, you're right. I mean, your feet are just killing you at the end of that. But Lisa, we should make sure that we make note of Lakeside. and we make
Oh,
sure
I don't know about you. I was there.
you got to go over there.
See, Lisa got there. She got
Oh,
there.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So
I was cooking chicken in the broaster booth.
Yes, you probably
yes, he
were.
was.
Yes.
He was very busy. But Caitlin, you sent us over to the AI bartender. So
Yes.
Jenny, who you also met on the floor, and myself, we went over to the beverage area and saw that AI robot bartender, which was really cool.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of it off the
Was it
top of
Lucy?
my head.
Her name was Cecilia.
Cecilia.
Yeah, Cecilia. So we were all singing Cecilia, you're breaking my heart. So yeah, I don't know if Cecilia is going to become a mainstream thing, but it really was, a first look at what something like that could look like and interact with people.
Yeah.
She could tell jokes. She could make, up to 30 drinks in an hour. So I think that she was, quite a hit at the show.
She was definitely. And then I did love how big well, you mentioned it was the first time having the Spanish pavilion. Because because last year we did spend some time in the Italian pavilion, but I noticed that having the Spanish pavilion was really great too. So we enjoyed Lakeside.
Yes. Lakeside, I think, is a lot of fun. And the buses do drop you off there depending on your bus route, but it's a lot of fun. So good. I'm glad you went. That's great.
Yes. Love it. Do we have anything going on nothing going on right now?
No.
Where's Jason Hartman?
Oh, he's in here.
Where's Jason?
Jason's here. I've been pulling up his comments.
Okay. I'm just making sure Jason's here.
Good.
So let's talk about a sneak peek. A little sneak peek into the trends or technologies you believe are going to take center stage in the coming years. We might have hit on some of them already, but and how the show is staying ahead of that curve.
Yeah, I'm going to repeat some of them because they bear repeating. Labor is still going to continue to be a challenge for everybody. So every piece of equipment that's going to be, purchased going forward is going to have to take a labor component out. Take a step out, take steps out, do something completely that a labor person is not going to be able to fill. So that's a big one. And I said the other one before, plant-based. Plant-based is still going to be a growing trend. I was amazed this year at some of the plant-based products. There was Current Foods that won a Fabby Favorite Award, and it was tuna. And all of our judges went nuts for it because it tasted like tuna. And I would be like, oh my God, that sounds just terrible, plant-based fish. But we saw more plant-based fish on the show floor and good plant-based fish. There was another company called the Ish Company that did shrimp, plant-based shrimp. So not only can it look like shrimp and taste like shrimp, but then you don't have the allergies if you're allergic to shellfish. So that's a benefit there too. So Meaty was another one that did chicken cutlets, and they just grill up beautifully and look like chicken, but it's a total plant-based product. So, plant-based before COVID probably wasn't that great. People are like, oh, it's like tofu. Now it's like, it's amazing. You really probably really couldn't tell. And, and then I think this year too, the judges were very keen. And, if I have to put a lot of sauce on this, then it's losing the narrative. So we want to make sure that these products taste good, on their own, standalone. And if you put a soy sauce or, anything on it, then that's on you. And it probably tastes even better, but you wanted to make sure that the plant-based tastes well. And then the other thing that we see growing, and it's just, I think a sign of the times, I'm an older generation, so I kind of go, okay, we've been talking about this forever because I've been talking about Energy Star equipment forever, for 15 years, but sustainability is still a key thing because people really want to know locally produced. They want to know waste, management, more of like, let's not waste everything. I'm not a fan of paper straws, but people like paper straws. So I think, a value-based company, a value-based operation is still, going to be a viable thing going forward, next year. So,
but sustainability is true. Yeah. I mean, paper straws, my good. Oh.
Speaking of paper straws, I definitely have to shout out Rock Paper Straws, who I discovered in the beverage.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
good.
Their straw is the best paper straw I've ever used.
Oh, that's fantastic. It's just innovation. They've innovated it. It doesn't have to be limp and wet and dissolved in 30 minutes. So,
Yeah.
I hold on to my straw.
They were a small women-owned company, women-owned and started company.
Oh,
So
that's
that was
fabulous.
great too.
That's great. That's
Yeah,
great.
and I think Lisa, you had mentioned they were soaking the straw there for
30 hours.
30 hours,
Oh
and
my
it
God.
was still good.
Yep.
Oh, love it. I know there's
Yeah.
there's some like sugar-based ones too, or bamboo-based ones too, but I'm gonna go check them out, Lisa. Thank you.
Yeah, rock
I
paper
didn't get to see 'em.
straws. Shout out to
I
the
love the
ladies.
name. I love the name.
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, no, I mean that's that. We have something there. Go ahead, Lisa.
Oh, I just wanted to bring in a comment here.
Yeah.
From Jason. So
Oh.
Jason asks, Caitlin, as not only a food service industry expert, but also a branding and marketing expert, what is one piece of advice that you can give other food service marketing pros that you wish you knew when you started?
Hey.
Asking for a friend. Yeah, well, he's a very good friend, and I'll tell him everything offline. But no, I think the major one now because of innovation is accept change. Don't fight change, accept change. I think, and I've seen that even in my own, marketing world. When social media was first hot, people were very standoffish about it, but now social media really drives everything. Really, social media is really the conduit to get to customers better than an email or anything else. So, Jason and I've had these discussions about AI too, within, marketing. I'm on the fence about it. I think AI would be great if you already had already original content that you could plug into ChatGPT and see how you can improve it. But I don't believe in using ChatGPT for original content. You got to still use your brain. You still got to use your talent. You still got to know your customer in order to do that. I think AI in Photoshop or all those different things that you can fill in areas that you're missing from. Oh, if I just didn't cut that off, I would have had such and such. So I think if those types of things are really cool. So I just think embrace change, embrace some of the new things that are going out there because you'd be surprised what you can do. But I also know it's all balanced on budgets and everything else that you have to do. But that's my my insight.
Yeah, no, and it's great insight. You do have to. That's a lot of people that are struggling to get on social media and get out there and build their brand. They're held back by these old values or views or whatever they have that they're growing up with. And I'm guilty of that too. That's why it kind of took me so long to get to 2018 because I was struggling with Facebook. I'm not going on there. It's Facebook. It's people. One of my friends, Facebook is the devil. Don't go on there. And
right.
It's like
right.
But
right.
At some point, I just said to myself, I started watching a lot of Gary Vee, and he helped me kind of shift my gears a little bit and see things in a different light. And every now and then, you need somebody to do that. And truth be told, we probably wouldn't be here doing this if I didn't start the journey. We may have never met. We may have never been here. So there's a lot of opportunity that you could be missing out on if you don't start that. So I just say I double down on that, embrace the change.
Embrace the change. Go with it. I think you're absolutely right. I think I have this conversation with people. They're like, well, what if they comment negatively on our posts? And I'm like, well, are we turning off the phones? Because they're still calling us complaining. So, it's how you address it and how you deal with it that builds your brand. It's not to stop people from doing it because everybody's always going to give your opinion no matter what. You can't stop that.
Exactly. If you post something, if you're active, you're on there, and you're in the public eye, you're going to be open for criticism and for negativity. I think some of the stuff that might be coming from a good place from someone in the industry where you have a back and forth. Someone has this view, you have this view, you have a little back and forth debate on it, but it's always respectful, professional. But then you have the trolls that are going to say stuff. To those, I just say. I love you. Put a little heart emoji.
Exactly. All I have to say is thank you. Thank you so much have a blessed day. That's all you can do.
I love you so much. There's nothing else to come back after that. That's it.
It's why start the argument, because we get it at the show floor too. Don't get me wrong. We get comments galore about the show and about different things. So it's just how you handle it and how you make people, you try to help make their experience better. So
yeah. And speaking of, I guess, marketing and innovation, all this stuff, I just want to say one more time, Visalogics, going down the bottom of our screen here, is our sponsor for today. So go to visalogics.com. They have something called Tether It. You might want to look into that. And they're they have a lot of solutions especially for service businesses out there. So definitely check into them, and Jay and the team over there would be happy to talk with you anytime. So just wanted to throw that back in there. We still have some things to go here, Caitlin. So live streaming. This is
yes.
Now we're live streaming right now, and am I okay to say this is your first live stream?
This is my first live stream. No, I shouldn't say that. It's my first podcast. I did a live stream from the show floor. Okay. For the first time. So we went to 28 different satellite media things. If you Google it, you can find it on Yahoo News. But we did a live from the show floor. We highlighted different products. So it was really a lot of fun. But you only have 4 minutes. You only have 4 minutes, and I'm a talker, so that was hard.
But yes, live streaming is a fantastic way to engage with your peers in the food equipment industry or any industry. How do you see this medium impacting how we connect and share insights, especially those who can't make the show or conference?
Right. Unfortunately, we do believe that our show is an in-person show. We really want people to come. Yeah. It's a tasting show. It's a seeing show. It's a feel show. So you really can't communicate all the time on those things via live stream. So we will always be, we try to do some of that during COVID, and we do some online education that really does help. Like I said, we're doing calls for proposals right now. Some of those sessions need to be done earlier than the show. We did one earlier this year on taxes and the benefits that you can get from different, opportunities that were going on in taxes for businesses and restaurants. So we went ahead and we had a big showing of people that came in to listen to that in December of last year. So we'll continue to do more of those. But the one thing that we are working on, which I'm going to invite you to come and participate, but we are going to have a podcast area at the show. Wow. So you can come and be in live stream to your audience who can't come, or maybe they're going to be there and they'll come back and write you later. But we are going to have a podcast area at the show, so we can try to get some of those, critics, or not critics, but critiques of the show, what they saw, what they taste, what they did, live from the show floor. So I think that's the new thing that we're going to be doing this year, and we're quite excited about it. So
so it looks like we're going to have to get fired up
we're going to get fired up big at the show. Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Yeah. Yes. So that's it. So, and we do also do a robust social media presence. Again, I hate saying everything's post COVID, but everybody has really embraced social media. I think you've seen it. I've seen it. We've seen a huge uptick of it during the show, and we really try to build our social community when we're at the show, liking things, resharing things, making emphasis on different exhibitors or different areas of the show floor, so people know what's going on, because people do look at social media when they're traveling. They just do. Yeah. And so if we can give them, hey, don't forget to go get your picture with the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile, that's great. Or don't forget this chef is going to be on at 11 o'clock. Go see them. That's a big thing. But we also see a lot of the exhibitors just embracing it and really sharing what they're doing in their booth and taking video and doing all sorts of stuff. So, those are the ways to really try to, be a part of the show without being there,
Yeah. Do you think that more exhibitors will have things like, I think it was Heinz that did a lot of, or Kraft, was it Heinz or Kraft?
It was Kraft Heinz, they're both the same company.
Yeah. Gotcha. So they had all of the little photo opportunities with the mac and cheese or with the ketchup.
Yes. I took the big ketchup bottle. We got the picture in.
But the big ketchup bottle was amazing because it said the National Restaurant Association. So I got very excited about that. And they had the swinging Mac thing. So I got a picture on that too. And then I got my little ketchup bottle as well. So yes, I was there and I got everything I could out of that booth. So, but we are encouraging, again, because of social media, you have to have a photo moment sometimes in your booth, or we're trying to develop other photo moments even around the show floor. So because people do like that, they want to share it, they want to tag people and tell them where they are. So yes, Heinz did a fantastic job. We know there's a couple other ones that saw the Heinz success, so they want to recreate it in their booth as well. So we're all for that. anytime that you can get people engaged in your booth in a different way, a more consumer driven way is a great way to approach it as well.
It is. So two-part question before we get into some fun ones. What exciting projects or initiatives can we look forward to? We might have touched on this already too, and maybe one surprising fact about the show that people might not know.
Okay. Well, here's the headline. We just announced our keynote speaker yesterday.
Is this breaking? Wait, is this breaking news here?
This is breaking news. This is breaking news. We've sent out the press release, so I can officially say it. We have the fabulous culinary icon, humanitarian Jose Andres is going to be our keynote.
Oh, wow.
Headliner. So we are very excited about his participation. He's going to talk with Michelle Korsmo, the president of the National Restaurant Association, and have a great discussion on really how he approaches restaurants with Haleo and all his other, things that he's doing, but also his humanitarianism and what he does with World Kitchen and how important that's been around the world. So we're really excited about his participation because he is a global, type of speaker. So that's breaking news. Wow, he's going to be at our show. And we've never announced it this early before in the show's history. So to announce it in August before we even open up registration, that's great. And then the second thing is we are opening up registration next month. So the week of the September 11th, that's a night. It's a day, but that's Monday. We will start opening up early bird registration for next year's show. So if you want the best rate possible, get on it early for early bird and see you in May.
I'm usually a late bird. Maybe I'll be an early bird this time.
Well, see, a lot of people are late birds. They wait till the last minute. We have a lot of people that wait till the last minute, get the hotels last minute. I think because of, as much as I love airlines and I love my Southwest, you can't trust them hardly anymore. That they're going to get you where you need to go, especially as summer approaches again and things start kicking up in May, June, and July. So I say, come in a day early, enjoy Chicago, or stay a day late and enjoy Chicago because there's so much to see and do and eat and just enjoy in Chicago. So it's not a bad place to be. Especially
love Chicago. Yeah, and I will recommend. And I just actually like the place. I think it's called the Purple Pig.
Yes, the Purple Pig. Yes, that's historic. Yes.
What amazing food! Oh my God! I mean, it was good. So I recommend it here in Chicago.
What's your favorite pizza place now in Chicago? Because I know you're into pizza and reviewing pizza.
So I really, sadly enough, I really haven't been to many pizzerias out there. Since we really started doing some pizza stuff, but the pizza that I unfortunately did try was not the best. I have had Lou Malnati's, so I do like Lou Malnati's for the deep dish. I'm not necessarily a deep dish guy, but for what it is, I think it's very good.
Yeah, and I one slice is like a meal. That's
fine. God,
yeah.
I've had Giordano's years ago, and I can't really. I don't remember too much about it. What we have to do, Lisa, is we have to go in a day early, or stay a day late, and we have to really go. And I need recommendations on what the
I'll
best
give you
pizza
some.
places are.
And there's a couple up in Lincoln Park that are just off the beaten path that you can go and explore. Those
are always the best.
Yes, exactly. So I'll
beautiful. So
yes,
exactly. We have to check that out.
Yes.
So we did some things here just for fun. I don't know if you have anything if you wanted to do this. So would you rather work as a food critic with the ability to dine at the finest restaurants for free, or run your own food truck with a dedicated following?
I'd probably say dedicated food truck because I like marketing. So I'd like to market the hell out of that and see what we could do. I also like food trucks because they focus on a few things and they do them very, very well. That's how you build a following. They don't try to say, oh, here's 30 things you can, no, here's 5 things that we do really, really well. And we can get them out to you and lickety split and, and do that. But I would love to be one of those food trucks that people are following and the line is there before you get there and do that. I think that'd be awesome. So, and Chicago has great food trucks. There's tons of great food trucks in Chicago too.
We got to put that on the list too. We got to find, we got to start doing food truck. If you put that on the board, Lisa. The food truck, I love food trucks too. Surprisingly, Cousins food truck. The one that was on Shark Tank.
We have one here in Florida. I think we have one here in Florida or something like that.
I'm not a big seafood guy, but I went to a festival and it was there, and I was like, let me try this lobster roll. This was the best lobster and lobster roll I ever had. I was blown away. I don't know. I don't know if I just got lucky that day.
You got lucky, but
oh my God.
you were into it and you had it, and Cousins loves you for giving him a shout out.
That's right. It was good, but I think that's a great. I'm the same way. I think I would love to market a food truck. That would just be a lot of fun trying to, entice people, get people excited to
exactly.
To
and you could do crowdsourcing for a new menu item, and just there's a lot of fun things you could do with that. So.
Oh yeah, we got another. Would you rather?
Nothing against fine dining, but
no, of course not.
I think I would get bored with that. I don't know. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm a t-shirt hat kind of guy, so they might not even let me in.
Yes. Yes.
So another would you rather? Would you rather have the ability to instantly learn and master any cuisine in the world, or have the power to make any dish you cook taste like your favorite food?
Well, my favorite foods are very limiting. So I would probably want to be able to learn how to cook a lot of things. I'm terrible, but I'll be honest, being in the food industry now 25 years, you become a foodie. Not the foodie that you're making things, but good from bad, and how it was made, and you're looking behind the counter to see what's back there in equipment and all those things. So, I would love to be able to master some of those things, very, very well. So,
and it's true too, because my girlfriend Jenny, we'll go to places now, and she never really knew what I did. But now that she's kind of been around, the business more, she sees that we'll walk into a place, she'll go, "Oh, I see they have a blodgett oven back there. I see a blodgett." That's like you start looking at these things, you're like, "Oh, I never realized it before."
Yes, I started in ice machines, so I was always in hotels looking, what do they have, and what ice is this in the cup, and I know this is Hojizaki, or I know this is Nugget ice, it's Scotsman. So you always could figure out what it was. So, but yes, I think we all become foodies that way. So yes, I like to master a few things. So I'm going to give a shout out to Jason Hartman, because he posted it on his Facebook thing, because we also, I don't know if you watch it, but have you watched Bear?
I've heard about it. I heard all about it. I just not watched it yet.
Okay, before you come to Chicago, you got to watch that, because
I'm going to check it out.
That is it's a great show. It's hard to get into it. I'll just say it that way. But once you get into it, it's amazing. So Jason made the an egg omelet like they did on Bear, and that looked really good. So he's mastered how to do a fantastic omelet with potato chips, which sounds weird, but it's really good.
I'll have to make that, because I do watch The Bear. I just haven't started season 2. But my biggest gripe with the show is that there is no service company.
Yes, they don't. Well, they have this one gentleman who acts like the service guy, and I'm like, oh, you're doing service people disservice. So
absolutely.
So just go in it knowing that, but it's quite fun to see it. So, and then
because in the very first episode, he's fixing the Hobart mixer, and I'm like, no, call the service company.
Exactly. I'm like, oh, you're gonna ruin the warranty. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, I don't know how old this all, but I'm like, you're gonna ruin the warranty. You're not gonna put OEM parts on it. What are you doing? So, I'm like all those things. And then I was watching. Okay, I'm totally digressing, but I was watching Lincoln Lawyer too on Netflix, and one of the characters was in a kitchen. And lo and behold, I look down and I know the brand. I could see the brand on the refrigerator, and I'm like, that's a commercial refrigerator. So I took a picture of it and sent it to my friend who works at the company and said, "Look, you're on TV." Because you never know. Sometimes they block it out. Sometimes you can see it. So I always like it when I can see it. So
love it. And so the last would you rather is: would you rather be a world-renowned pastry chef known for creating intricate and stunning desserts, or a celebrity chef known for hosting a popular cooking show?
See, that's a challenge for me, because I think I'm creative enough that I would like to make those things, but then I would have a hard time people eating them. If you ever watch those shows and then they're like, "Oh, thank you, this is beautiful," and they just cut right into it and destroy it, and I'm like, "Oh my God, that's like 8 hours of work and it's gone in like 5 seconds." No, I don't want to do that. I'll be a celebrity chef all day long and invite people on like yourself and others, so we can, tell everybody about food service and great. Not the. I don't want to. I would love to see really a restaurant show that talks about that stuff. Gotta love all the home people that do all these things and Food Network and all that stuff. And I know we do a lot of, restaurant shows and different things like that. But I like to be the first, host of a restaurant themed, so we can bring on everybody, equipment, food, everybody to talk about restaurants.
Yeah, that would be good. I mean, that's what I would absolutely be a celebrity chef.
You would.
I beat Richie Flay. That's it. That would be the show. I changed my last name to Flay, and I just beat Richie Flay. Because I love that. I love that show. I just wish I had that knowledge.
Oh yeah, it's amazing what they learn and what they write down, what they jot down, and what they learn, and what they're trying to achieve. It's just amazing. Yeah. So yes,
love it.
I love it.
So we'll wind this one down, Caitlin. Okay. Any last things? Any last thoughts on anything? Any projects you have going? Anything you got going on? Any social media or anything you want to plug?
Just the show's going to open, like I said, for registration next month. Please come. I hate to act like I'm begging, but I'm just going to say it's the best show that you're going to experience all year long. So, and it's great to be in Chicago in May, but it's really this is where you're going to see the trends. This is where you're going to see what's new and exciting in equipment. You can see what all the competition's doing from an equipment standpoint. But it's also a great place to network. I think sometimes we forget about that. And sometimes I walk with the new president of the company, and it's our first time walking the show last year. And he's like, God, you know a lot of people. And I'm like, I know. I've been in this show for a very long time. And, he came from Concrete World. So he probably knows 1,000 people over there that I would never know. So I think once you are in food service, you stay in food service, you become passionate about it. And what better way to celebrate that passion than to attend the National Restaurant Show and share that with others. So what you're doing is great. You're bringing people up, you're bringing people forward, you're exposing them to different things. And I think that's really what this show is about. Yes. Can I go get a Nathan hot dog? Yes, I can. But should I go over there and try something new and different that I've never had before? Yes, you should. So you just, you never know what you can do. And, and I know some people would only come for 2 days. I just say kind of extend it or plan ahead to make sure that you're maximizing your day, but go have a good time in Chicago. Make your reservations. Well, when they open up reservations, make them in March so you can get the best tables.
There you go.
So, yeah. So thank you so much. I love it. You're like I said, you're an inspiration to everyone in food service in terms of marketing and what you're doing. So, I'll just say this, tag 2024 restaurant show next year. That's our hashtag. So that's what we're going to be tagging everybody on. So
it's hashtag
2024. Yeah. 2024 restaurant show.
Okay. 2024 restaurant show. So that'll be the hashtag. We'll make sure we're doing that. Especially as we approach and we're running, walking the floor. So we'll do that.
And I think I'm going to go after your sponsor here and see if they want a booth at the show.
Well, there you go. We got Visualogics right there. You never know. That might be a great place.
That might be a great fit for them. You never know.
Absolutely, exactly. It might be. Exactly. Jason Hartman have anything to say before we go? Because I see he's.
Awesome talk. Thank you, Caitlin, so much for the great info. And I need to go get my tickets on Early Bird. Maybe Fired Up can bring me on as their top question generator.
Oh, I love it. See?
We got to get Jason on. We do.
Yes, Jason's great. He just did a photo shoot and a training session down at his facility this week. So he is. We'll
flip it on him though. We're gonna have to come up with get people to send in 20 questions with Jason Hartman.
Yes.
And we'll ask him so that he has to do the answering.
Yes, I would love that. I'll join
What do you
in
think,
on
Jason?
Jason, are you in for this? Because I'm gonna send you a calendar invite and you're gonna be on.
we have another slot, don't we?
Yep, we do.
That might be that rotating Fed group kind of thing that we were talking about, where we get them to ask questions.
I was going to say, are you gearing up for your next Fed?
No, you know what? We get asked that often. I don't know if there's going to be another FedCon. It took a lot out of us, and sometimes things don't turn out the way you want them, and maybe sometimes you got to kind of figure out other ways. So we've kind of thought about masterminds or smaller events at some point, but as of right now, there is no FedCon on the calendar.
Well, I encourage you to maybe have a meetup at the show.
That is something that we would definitely look into doing. We actually, was that NRA, Lisa?
No, it was.
No, that was NAFM.
You did it NAFM? Maybe you did it.
So you know what though? We'll probably look to put together some kind of a meetup in NRA. Is there Topgolf out there in Chicago?
Yes, there is. It's out in the suburbs though. It's out in Naperville.
I'll have to figure something out. That's what we did. Yeah. That's what we did in NAFM. It got people,
Yeah, the Topgolf and NAFM is just right out the back door, so it's easy.
Yeah, that was good. So we will probably do that. So stay tuned on that.
Okay, good.
Caitlin, thank you so much for your time and your insight into everything.
Thank you.
Really
Thank you. I
appreciate it.
really appreciate it. We're going to work on something at the show for podcast area. And again, thank you so much for the opportunity. Just enjoyed it. And Lisa, thank you for everything. You've been amazing. So.
Thank you, Caitlin. Appreciate
All right.
you.
You take care. Have a great day.
You too. Take care, Caitlin.
Right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Lisa, another fired up episode going down in the history books. And again, a big thank you to our sponsor for the episode, Visalogics. Scrolling down the bottom here, you'll see, go to visalogics.com. Were you going to say something?
No, I was just going to say how much I love Caitlin's energy.
Oh,
she's the best.
It is. It's infectious. And she never misses a beat. Cause sometimes, listen, we've done previous ones, not this season. This season's amazing, but you go back and you look at sometimes it's hard, but when things flow and you have somebody that's high energy and just ready to go, I mean, it makes for a great interaction. So that was great. And listen, National Restaurant Association show, of course, we're there every year. We're filming. The cameras will be right behind me and you and everybody else. We don't ask for permission. We ask for forgiveness, right?
I know. I've already started. Like when I look at when I want to book a vacation, I always check when NRA is so that I make sure I don't book that time.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that mid-May that is on the calendar every year. And I think this time around, we might want to spend some extra time there so we don't have to rush. Because I feel
100%.
like, yeah, I think we'll plan on staying a little longer. Plus, we just got a lot of stuff going on, a lot more partnerships, a lot great. And that's another thing, we'll take this episode down. Final thoughts. Aside from everything else NRA brings, the networking is really, and Caitlin mentioned that the networking is really so critical. I get asked a lot from a lot of different people, about building business and doing the things that it takes to go from here to here to here. It's people, it's really all about people, and it's really about networking and just just going out there and shaking hands. You just don't know what that handshake is gonna mean a month from then, 2 months, a year down the line. You have to continue to get out there and connect. And what better place than a show that has everybody? There's consultants, there's reps, there's dealers. Go into the booths, go and shake. Don't be afraid to shake hands. There's nothing to lose. You have everything to gain. So I would definitely recommend that. And looking at the power of social media and the stuff that we're doing here, and tackling that, everyone's trying to find good people and good and technicians and to bring into the organization. Well, lo and behold, if you continue to do this, it works. And that's kind of one of the ways that we're growing our business here, through social media. We're bringing in new technicians, and it's the power of social media that's allowing these things to happen here. And I'm happy to share that with anybody offline if they want to talk more about it. And of course, I share plenty of it on my social platforms, but always feel free to reach out. Lisa, we're taking this one down. Thanks again to Visalogics for sponsoring the episode. Get on over to visalogics.com. Jay and the team over there ready to talk to you. Check out what Tether it's all about. They have a lot of other things going on there as well. So, Lisa, what else?
I was just going to say visalogics.com/fired up.
Visalogics.com/fired up. There you go. So yeah, again, thank you guys. Thank you to Visalogics. And fired up, taking it down on a Wednesday. Lisa, do we know what next week is?
Oh yes, that's the Josh Zolan and
Pat Finley, Jason Latimer.
Yes.
Guys, next week we're gonna have a real good one. Josh Zolan will be back on the show with us, and we're gonna be introducing Pat and Jason to well-known Fed Nation members, industry techs. It's really going to be a great conversation from service, running a service company, technicians, and just being, really engulfing what the business and industry is. So, Lisa, is that it?
That's it.
All right, listen, ladies and gentlemen, please have a beautiful day. Make the best of what's left of it. Make the best of what's left of the week. And as always, we'll see you next week. Stay fired up.